Alright, so we're gonna animate a ball and we're gonna make it squash and stretch. So I'm gonna delete this cube by hitting X and hitting delete, so no more cube. I'm gonna press Shift A. I'm gonna add, to get our add menu, I'm gonna add a sphere. So now we have our sphere. And I'm just gonna add a plane, mesh plane. And I'll just scale that up and I'll bring this plane just below the cube. Let me put the shadows on so I can see it a little better. So we have something like this. So what we're gonna do, maybe I'll shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so again, to animate, so say we're gonna make this ball bounce. We could add a keyframe and do location, rotation, scale. So we'll do one there. Maybe at 20, our ball's gonna be like up in the air. We'll add another one, so I could hit I again, do location, rotation, scale. Then maybe at 60, it comes back down. We'll do, okay, so now we have like a little hop, right? So I want to add some like squash and stretch to this. So there's a nice little deformer that we could use. I mean, we could scale this, but if we go to the modifiers, so that's our blue wrench, modifiers, and we add a modifier. Under deformer, there's one called simple deform, and it has different options, but the option we're gonna probably want to use is stretch. So you can see it pulls it, but we want to do that on the z-axis, right? So you can see now we have this slider, and we could squish it and stretch it, right? So I think what will be useful now is if we turn on auto keying. So it's this button right here, this dot next to our plane. So if we turn that on, any movement we make, it's gonna automatically make keyframes. So, say at frame 5, well, I'm gonna move these down. So I just select them all. I'm just gonna move this to frame 5. So he'll start off at frame 5. So I could give him like some wind up, right? So I'll just hit the diamond here, and then maybe at like frame 3, I'm just gonna make it so he like squishes down a little bit. And I'm also just gonna bring him down back to the floor. So you can see it's gonna add all those keyframes, right? And I'm just gonna bring him back up to the floor. There you go. Right, so now we have that, and when he goes here, instead of being squished, I think I'm gonna make him like stretch up a little bit. Right, so now you can see he like squishes down and then stretches up. And then I think at 25, I'm just gonna put 0 back. Well, yeah, let's try that. I'll put 0 so he's back to straight. So let's see how that looks. So now he squishes down, bounces up, comes back to 0. So I think around maybe like, okay, so we'll go back to 60. Let's see, I'm gonna go to like, so what, this is 65, so I'm gonna go to 60. Then it's gonna be like, so we'll go back to 65. So when he hits the ground, let's go to like 68. He like squishes down a little bit, and then we can like move that down. right? So then he's like bounces, he goes and squishes down, but it starts squishing all the way, so maybe, let's see, at 25, so let's say at 40, maybe he squishes the long ways, like he's like stretching because he's getting pulled down by gravity, right? So you can see he's getting pulled down by gravity. And maybe at 60, he's back to a regular ball shape, right? So he's getting pulled down, stretching. We'll do 65. He's also regular ball shape. And then he squishes, and then maybe like at 75, he's a regular ball again. And we'll just lift that up. Right, so now we have like this, it makes it look like he's more bouncy. Right? So I want you guys to experiment with squash and stretch and make a bouncing ball, squashing and stretching. Try it a couple times and then, and then make a video. So again, we go to the output properties. We go to output. I'm going to put it to my desktop. I'll do this folder. I'll call this, squash, stretch. I'll hit accept. It's going to save it there. I'm going to go to file format. I'm going to change that to FFmpeg video. Then I'm going to go to encoding, and I'm going to do MPEG 4 or QuickTime. And then I'll do render animation. And it should start going, and there you go.